New fast coach. Skarloey, the narrow gauge engine, works on his branch line with his coach Wilhelmina. He and Wilhelmina had been saved from scrap by Hank, and they were happy to be on the Fat Controller's railway. But Wilhelmina was old and sometimes needed more attention, but that doesn't bother Skarloey at all. Until one evening, Skarloey had just shunted Wilhelmina into a siding. Wilhelmina could see that Skarloey was suddenly taken ill. His driver and fireman spoke to him immediately. "You'll have to go to the works tomorrow, I'm afraid. Now someone will have to take charge of your branch line while you're away." Skarloey said his goodbyes to Wilhelmina and puffed slowly away. Poor Wilhelmina felt very sad to see Skarloey go. Later that morning, Wilhelmina was still resting in the siding when Duke puffed up. He had some good news. "Good news is," said Duke, "a relief engine is to pull you while Skarloey is away." "Really?" said Wilhelmina. "You ought to pull me?" "Not really," said Duke with disappointment. "I wish I was, but someone else is going to pull you. Hope you look forward to it." "Oh yes," said Wilhelmina excitedly. "Good luck with that," said Duke, and Duke puffed away. But unfortunately, the engine Wilhelmina was going to get pulled by was Molly. She liked goods trains, but she was rude and cross with the coaches, and she bumped Wilhelmina hard. "How rude," she said. "I hope you're not going to cause me any trouble today," said Molly crossly. "After this, I'm having a goods train to pull, so you better not keep me late, you old coach." Wilhelmina felt offended, and Molly puffed crossly away while she was pulling Wilhelmina too hard. Until when Molly arrived at the station, she became rude with the passengers. She started blowing steam and blowing her whistle all the time. "Come on, hurry up," she shouted. "Hey, not so rude," said Arthur. "The passengers don't appreciate that." They don't care. I have a goods train to pull," shouted Molly. "And neither does this blue, silly coach," she said. "She's so slow." Poor Wilhelmina felt sad. The people got in Wilhelmina, the guard blew his whistle, and Molly puffed away. "Goodbye, Arthur," she said. I hope you might get rid of this coach someday." But Arthur didn't say a word. Soon Molly was feeling even more rough with Wilhelmina and gave her a violent bump. "Come on," she said. You old scrap metal," she said. "How rude," said Wilhelmina. "You should appreciate a coach, not be against it," she said. But Molly completely ignored Wilhelmina. They went through a tunnel, through the bumpy trot, and they reached the other side to St. Michael's Station. The passengers, feeling very cross with Molly, all left the station as quickly as possible. Soon Wilhelmina felt terrible, and as she was uncoupled by Molly. "Goodbye," she said. You old iron wretch," she said. "No," she said. I'm off for my goods this time," and she puffed away without saying thank you. Wilhelmina felt terrible. She was very sad and wanted Skarloey back. Until just then, Arthur backed down towards Wilhelmina. She was surprised when she saw Arthur, and out of Arthur was the Fat Controller. He came in to see what the matter was. Molly was treating me terrible," moaned Wilhelmina, and she kept calling me names and saying how slow and old I am, she said sadly. Soon the Fat Controller pondered. "I see," she said. I I shall have a word with Molly later. For the time being, Arthur can pull you to Farquhar Station when the other passengers have been delivered. Yes, sir, said Wilhelmina, and the Fat Controller got back inside Arthur. Soon Arthur was coupled to Wilhelmina. Come on, said Arthur. Let's go to Farquhar Station before Molly gets there before us. And he puffed away. But by the time they reached Farquhar Station, it was too late. Molly was already there at a siding next to Farquhar Station. Look who's here, said Molly, and he's brought the old slow coach with him, she said. Arthur had had enough. Molly, she said, this has gone too far. Wilhelmina doesn't deserve this. Yes, she does, shouted Molly. She's old, a waste of space, and she needs to be scrapped. Soon Wilhelmina had had enough. Molly, she said, you're mean, and you need to go and get punished. Anyways, said Molly, you're so old that you are even too weak to be a coach. I've heard they're getting a new coach to replace you, she said, and you will be scrapped by the time this new coach will become better than you, she said. Anyways, I'm done talking to you two. You're wasting my time, and I'm off to pull a goods train. And Molly puffed crossly away without saying goodbye. Why, how mean of her, said Arthur. You stay here. I'll go and speak to her how wrong it is to talk to you like that, said Arthur, and Arthur puffed away, leaving Wilhelmina at Farquhar Station on her own. For the rest of the day, Wilhelmina stayed at Farquhar Station with nothing to do. She felt really lonely. What if it is true, she said sadly. Maybe the Fat Controller is going to get a new coach to replace me. But then she heard a familiar whistle. There was Duke back into a siding next to her. Wilhelmina, said Duke. Hello? Duke, said Wilhelmina. I've missed you. I've missed you too, said Duke. I've heard rumours that they're getting a new fast coach. And Wilhelmina had her wheels wobbling. Yes, said Wilhelmina. What if it is true? Molly told me, didn't she? She told me as well, said Duke. I don't think the Fat Controller will replace you, said Duke. Anyways, he said, I've heard Molly was treating you how you didn't like to be treated. I know, said Wilhelmina, and she's not like Skarloey and never will be. Don't worry, said Duke. Skarloey will be back on service tomorrow. I'll go tell Arthur the good news. And Duke puffed away. And with that, Duke puffed into the works with Wilhelmina behind Duke's tender. And by the time Duke arrived, Arthur and the Fat Controller were already there. And when the time came, Skarloey came out of the workshop. Skarloey was as good as new, and was happy to see Arthur, Duke, and Wilhelmina again. The Fat Controller was turning his attention to Skarloey. You are in fine working order. Now you shall go back to your branch line, he said. Duke and Arthur have been taking care of your coach. You should be very proud of them. Skarloey already thanked Duke and Arthur. And then, when Arthur and Duke were thanked by Skarloey, the Fat Controller went to see Wilhelmina. You are a really useful coach, he said. Skarloey will always like you as his coach, and you should have took no notice to Molly being rude to you. He said, You are not going to be replaced by a new coach. Molly and some engines have spread them rumours to make you feel bad, he said. When Skarloey is away, from now on, I will not ask Molly to pull you again. And Wilhelmina smiled happily.